Back to DNA reviews. So
Welcome
excited
back,
for today.
guys. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. We're so excited today because Thor: Love and Thunder has finally come out, and this is like 2 months after Doctor Strange. And yes, so let me first, before we get into like the review and stuff, you can see the props that I have made for this movie. I made Stormbreaker, as you can see here,
Talent.
and then
Talent.
we have Mjolnir. He can
Mjolnir.
wield it. He can wield Mjolnir.
I'm able to lift it.
It took me a couple of hours to make. A couple of hours. Mjolnir took 10 hours. Stormbreaker took about 8 hours.
It's dedication, man.
Dedication, but as you can see, it's detailed, and I love it. I've always wanted to be a cosplayer like this and do things like this, so I'm excited that I finally got to have it done.
I envy your dedication. I don't think I could stand around for 10 hours to make a to make an axe.
I make a prop. It's
prop.
good.
Good job, though. I liked it. When you showed up at the theater, I was blown away. When you had Mjolnir, I was blown away.
And we took some pictures. We took some pictures at the theater here. Him trying to wield the Mjolnir, and we're having fun because I didn't get to have Stormbreaker yet because it took a little bit longer to make a Stormbreaker. But I had Mjolnir at the theater.
We should do a giveaway, man. We should do a 2,000 subscriber giveaway or something.
We should.
How
That would
to
be
make
fun.
this? How to make this or something?
Subscribe if you want.
Yeah, the 2,000 subscriber gets directions on how to make this. I hope you recorded yourself or something.
Right? Something like that.
Something like that. Anyway.
All right. So now getting into the movie, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie. So what was your thoughts?
It was a great movie, man. Listen, I'm telling you right now, there was a part of me when I was going into the movie, was a little scared, man, because I was hearing from early reviews that it was really silly, and Taika Waititi's silly. I mean, all his movies are silly, but even with Ragnarok, which started out, because in the very first scene of Ragnarok, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this movie, but then it turned and I loved it. So I was afraid that he went extra silly on this one. It was silly, but not bad. And it was spaced. It wasn't continuous silliness to the point where I was like, all right, dude, this is a movie. Can we stop? It wasn't ridiculously silly. So there was moments of levity, but there was a lot of tension as well throughout the movie and dark scenes. So I loved the movie, man. I had a great time. I had a blast watching this movie.
I definitely thought the movie was very, very silly.
Yeah.
And I understand where the critics are coming from. And if it's like not your kind of movie where it's like this kind of, a lot of jokes, because I compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy. I hated that movie. That movie was trash. I never liked the jokes in that movie. But when it comes to Taika Waititi, and Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth coming together, the jokes land.
Yeah.
So it is silly, but you have to just let your mind of Marvel or whatever, just let it be silly.
Well, here's the thing. Chris Hemsworth sells it so well.
He sells it, yeah.
I mean, because he's almost like, when you're just so in love with yourself, right? Or you just think you're the greatest. It's almost silly to watch a person like that. So he just sells his amazingness so well with satire that you don't feel like it's over the top. Like, oh, this guy's overdoing it.
Right.
I feel like, this is how Thor has been throughout the movies, even though Taika Waititi leaned into it. Yeah. But even in Thor 1, Thor was smelling himself.
Yeah.
Like he was the man, right?
Yeah.
He was the greatest of all times, right? It's just that Taika Waititi leaned into it. Like he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to use that and all the way go with that. So for me, it continuous-wise, it felt right.
It felt right, and it landed for me. I enjoyed the jokes. I enjoyed the storyline. I loved Jane and Thor together now. I like how they came back, and it was a fun time. And people overthink. Apparently, I didn't even know about this. Apparently, people were like, "Oh," and there was this clip from the trailer where it was Thor and the Rock dude. I forgot his name. Korg. And Thor, and there's a space between him. So I think there's gonna be a cameo. And there was obviously no cameo. And so people were disappointed. I'm like, y'all gotta stop cameos.
Of what? Of who?
I don't even know. we gotta stop with these expectations of cameos. Like just because Spider-Man No Way Home came out, like were mad about Multiverse of Madness because Deadpool wasn't in it.
Yeah, can we just? Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I gotta stop.
People gotta go into movies on the basis of the movie, and if you get a cameo, it's a nice little topping. But your expectations of we have to have these pop up. If that's what makes a movie good for you, yeah, you're not going to enjoy any movie.
Right.
Because what should make you enjoy a movie is the writing, the plot, the delivery of the movie. Did you have a good time? Cameos are just sprinkled in, man. That doesn't a cameo of someone showing up doesn't make the movie either better or worse. So I think that's a bad way to go into a movie.
I definitely agree. So I want to now get into what the critics and audience thought. This is also another picture from the theater with my Mjolnir. Okay, sorry. Next one. So let's see. The critics give it a 68 and the audience give it an 81%. That seems about right. Like it seems like this movie is like it depends on your taste.
Right.
If you're not into this like goofiness of Thor and you want him to go back to his really serious kind of films, then it's not for you.
Yeah.
But everyone was good. I can't even name like a.
I agree with this because I think a lot of the critics, when you're being a critic, you're coming in with certain things you're looking for, and you come in trying to criticize the movie. The audience is coming in to have a good time, right?
Yeah.
So the audience, what they're saying is, I had a great time. It was a blast. I laughed. I had a good time. It was fun. It made sense. Now, is there some logic issues in this? Lots of logic issues in this. And you know me. Yeah. I'm the first one to point out, now, how does that work?
Yeah.
I'm that guy. But even in this one, for me, even though there was a lot of that happening, I was like, I let it go because I was just having so much fun with the movie.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed the overall experience of it, and especially the kids, part with the kids. And everything that was happening, man, it was a blast. I loved it.
So let's talk about the storyline. So this Gorr guy comes and his daughter gets killed and he no longer believes in the gods, and so he's like, I want to kill the gods.
Right.
And so Thor is trying to I didn't understand stop that. Sorry guys. Something is happening here. Okay. Thor is trying to stop him from killing all the gods. Right. And so how did you feel about the storyline? Did you feel like it was like too fast? It was too
I did feel, but see what they did here, and this is one of the weak points of Marvel movies, except for Thanos. It's one of the weak points of Marvel movies is they focus a lot on the heroes, right? So in this movie, they were over focusing on Jane and Thor and those characters. I did wish they did more with Gorr, the God Butcher, because the only time we saw him do something was, because we heard the stories. Hey, there's somebody out here killing gods. And it was a lot of stuff riveling through the universe with that. But there's only one god that we saw him kill, and that was the first one.
Right.
And then on the planet where, I forget her name, who she's Asgardian, she was fighting as well. She lost her arm. Gorr was there.
Sif. Yeah.
But yeah, so I wish they had shown more with Christian Bale, how he built up to where he was, how he was being overtaken by the sword and his pain. So yes, there was parts like that for me where it missed a beat, but they made up for it with just all the fun, the fun of the show. Yeah.
I agree that it was a little too fast. It was a 2-hour film, so it was already like, okay, 2 hours is a good time. Like editing over that is just like, come on. So I personally think that if they could have redone it, I think they should have hinted Jane's sickness in Thor Ragnarok so that we could have already kind of had that established so that we can give more time to Gorr. Yeah. Because we needed more from him for sure. Because as you said, he only killed the one guy. Yeah. And the stakes weren't high enough for me in that sense. Yeah. And I feel like he was I don't know. That's not even really.
He was underused. I thought Gorr the God Butcher was underused and it was forced. So that would be the only critique from a movie point I would give it. Not a logical point. There's a lot of critiques there, but from a movie point, I would say Gorr was definitely underused. So it could have been. They could have given it another 2 hours and 15 minutes and give us more with Gorr.
Yeah. And my favorite part, that was our kind of least favorite part. I mean, yeah. And our favorite part, I think, was the kids for sure.
Oh man,
That was
listen.
awesome.
When I saw the kids, listen, man, I lost it. It
I
was
know.
so
It was
cool
so
to
cool.
watch that. Even though, again, it caused a logic issue, though, if you think about it, because if he could always do that,
Why did he do that
why
for
does
everybody?
why does he do that for everyone? Right? Why don't you temporarily give powers when you're fighting? Why don't you temporarily give powers to the Guardians of the Galaxy? Why don't you give temporary powers when you're fighting Thanos?
But it was still fun. It was still fun.
So
though.
again, it was a logic issue. But you know what? Forget it. I didn't care. It was just so much fun watching.
Yeah.
The kids
Heimdall's son
going
was
crazy.
awesome.
Oh man, when he threw Stormbreaker back to him and he
Yeah.
caught it.
Stormbreaker. That was.
I got chills, man.
Yeah.
I got chills.
That was-
I got chills.
that was
I
peak
tell you,
TV.
that's what I can watch the movie again. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It's just a fun time. Forget about trying to connect everything together with all of the logic.
Like people are after Endgame. I feel like Endgame really ruined Marvel in a sense of, or ruined the Marvel fans' head. Like, oh, everyone needs to be in this movie. Everything needs to connect.
Yeah.
It's like just
Yeah,
think of it as phase one, guys.
I agree. Because even when the Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be, I was a little concerned that this movie was going to be overloaded. So I'm glad they dispatched them really quick in the beginning. We saw them, so we know it was enough to let us know what Thor's been doing for the past X years, whatever it is.
Right.
He's been fighting with the Guardians. He lost his weight. It was a good build up, right? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then they left, and it was Thor's movie. It wasn't a Thor and Guardians movie.
I thought it would be
like
as Guardians
Civil
of
War,
the Galaxy.
right?
That's
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
thought.
No,
Yeah.
I'm glad they did that. 'Cause we don't need every movie to be just a team every time. To me, let's build up to the team, right? Let's build up the team, give the people their own individual movies, and do that. So I liked it.
Yeah. All right, now going on to here. Let's read the critic rotten reviews and see if we disagree or agree.
Okay.
An initially promising MCU movie outing that can't effectively synthesize either of its source materials themes into something coherent or less affecting. A comedic Thor was necessary after the Dark World's failure, but it's time for another change of pace. So he's saying like he doesn't really like the comedy part of it.
Yeah. No, I think it's good.
Thor is the only character that could really pull it off.
Yeah.
Star-Lord cannot pull off the comedy like Thor can.
Yeah, I think it's good for standalone movies. Now, when you pull him into another team up, which he will obviously be in at some point, yeah, we don't need to lean into that because then it would destroy the pacing of that movie. This movie, to me, needs to be what it is. It's lighthearted, it's fun, it's a good action thriller. I love it. Yeah.
And this reminds me of a TikTok that I saw about how before Phase 4, Marvel fans were like, let directors do their thing. Stop meddling in what the directors want. And then we get Eternals. Chloe Zhao, she literally did her style. We get Multiverse of Madness. Sam Raimi did his style.
Right.
And then we get this movie, and it's Taika Waititi. He did his style, and people are still complaining about those three movies, being like, "Why is it so different from the MCU?" Like, y'all, I will fight y'all.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting different genres now from Marvel.
Yeah, we need to do that. I mean, they've been doing that, and everything doesn't need to be connected. I think people from Phase 1, 2, and 3, because Kevin Feige had an end plan, where he knew he was going to get Thanos involved. So he was leaving hints of different movies at the end of a movie, right? You'd get your little scenes. Well, fans now, they're not content with the the end credit scene, right? They're like, end credit scene can't, before it was the end credit scene that was just enough to hint what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
Now, everybody just wants it to be in the movie. I want you to let me know what's next in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, we can't do that. Feige's got it, guys.
Just let it. This is
play out.
This is Phase 1 all over again, guys. Yeah. We're reintroducing characters. Right. We're getting ready for Phase 6. We're not even there yet.
We're not even there yet.
Phase 5 is, I don't even know what's going to be about, but Phase 6 is obviously going to be the ending. So let it build up.
Let it build, guys. Let it build.
Okay, now moving on to some positive reviews that we will probably agree with. While it has too many familiar flourishing and jokes, the entertaining sequel is still a force of good, with enough visual ambition and heart in front of and behind the camera to stand on its own. I agree. The visuals were good. I think think that the visuals were better than Multiverse of Madness. I didn't
Yeah.
feel like, ooh,
I
that
was
was
gonna
too
ask you
much.
your opinion as a cinematographer about this. What's your cinematography opinion, Miss Graduate of School of
Yes,
Media?
I graduated, guys. No, with this film, I think that the cinematography, the editing was well done. I didn't feel like I was taken out of the movie because again, I compare it to Jurassic World. That movie I couldn't even stay in because of the editing and cinematography was so horrible.
Mm.
But with this movie, everything flowed well. People were in frame. Like it was done. It was done well. CGI was good. So there's nothing to worry about with that. No complaining. I don't want to hear any complaining.
Yeah, I enjoyed the visuals too. Nothing took me out as well. I'm not a professional like you are, but but you can tell sometimes when stuff is shot wrong or edited wrong. I mean, you don't have to go to film school to know when something is edited off.
Oh,
Side note, real quick though, speaking of editing, I don't know if you heard about this. There's a cut out there of Obi-Wan, the series.
mhm.
They took it, the 6 episodes. This guy recut it and made a
Yes.
2 hour and 15
No,
movie.
I sent that to you.
Did you send it to me?
Yes, I sent that to you.
I haven't seen it. Did you watch it?
No. I sent you the TikTok, but
Ah,
I haven't seen the movie because he doesn't know how to put it out. But he was like, yeah, I know how to. I set it up. I changed it around. I was like, this is
there's a
so good.
link. We gotta go. I'll tell you where to find it. There's a link you're gonna go and you can watch the movie. And everybody says it's much better.
Yeah, I believe it. I
Yeah,
believe it because he was like, I took out a lot of like the pacing issues, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
All right.
yeah. Sorry, guys. We're back. We back. Okay. Well, hold on, guys. We're having a little bit of audio issues. What is happening here? Hello. Anyways, we're talking about
Are we back now?
no, you keep going.
It's just me, huh? All right. So anyway, that I won't waste time with that, but that was great. So back to Thor though. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed everything I saw in the movie, and I encourage you to go watch it. If you've never seen another Thor movie, it doesn't matter. This thing stands on its own. Of course, it always helped if you saw other stuff before it, you get context. But this movie is a great movie, and I encourage everybody to go take a look at it. Highly anticipated, very well done movie. Lots of fun, lots of comedy, good action. So definitely go check it out.